wanted all along. I was taught to fight or to win. I never thought I could fail. No fight left, or so it seems. I am a man whose dreams have all deserted. I've changed my face, I've changed my name, but no one wants you when you lose.
Don't give up, 'cause you have friends. Don't give up, you're not beaten yet. Don't give up, I know you can make it good.
Hey, it's Dave. Welcome back to my channel. So it's been a couple of days at least, I think almost a week since I filmed last. And lots going on. The Patriots are heading to the Super Bowl once again. This could be Tom Brady's 6th, which is great. Because next year I think they're going to win a 7th when they get Edelman and Hightower back. That being said, the NAMM show has ended, which, of course, I can never get enough NAMM show videos. When I hear the noise and that din in the background of people's videos, my stomach sinks, and all I can think of is the flu that I got the last 3 times I went. All the wonderful pedals and amps that, when people roll back the volume, how they clean up so nicely. I can never get enough of that. My white guitar is almost done. I'm putting together a black guitar. I got a brushed steel pickguard from this company in Australia, and I'm putting together that guitar, so that'll be cool. I sold my Fender neck. Did anyone see the Vinnie Vincent videos coming out of Georgia there? They had some like Kiss Expo, and somebody commented on my page and was talking about it, and so I figured I'd go and check it out. And then, of course, it's very easy when I sit and start looking up one thing, I go down a rabbit hole. And I noticed that it's just some strange things. First of all, he's there with the old singer that was in Journey but never recorded with them, Rob Fleischman. And Fleischman's talking about what a great writer that Vinnie Vincent is. And I just can't see it. I don't get it. I never really cared for Vinnie's tone. I never really liked, I really never liked anything he ever played on, except for maybe Dan Hartman's, that video when he's jumping around. What the hell's that one? Instant Replay. I think that's hilarious. And I also think it's funny. I might even do an Instant Replay video teaching the chords, because I watched, after watching the video, I watched a couple of guys play chords, and I'm like, yeah, that's not right. So I learned the song, and then I was like, well, maybe I'll do a video. So that might come soon. And anyways, but it's very interesting about Vinnie Vincent. I can't tell if he's transitioning into being a woman. I mean, not that I care if he is, but it was just very odd, the whole interview process. And you know, it's funny, he talks a little bit about how Gene Simmons, you know, in Kiss, they wanted him to sign a contract. And he didn't want to sign it. He thought it was giving up his publishing a little too much and all that. And then when you listen to Gene tell it, because I watched an old expo with Gene talking about it, and about Vinnie Vincent, and Gene saying, well, we have to insure people when we go on tour, and to do this we need a contract. That's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. At least I can sniff that part of it out. So at least in that part of the duality of the conversation, I think you know, maybe Gene was being fair in his contract, but it's definitely not because it's all innocent and you're just trying to insure the tour, you know. because you can, people that go out and play on big gigs, going on tour with people don't have to go sign contracts giving up rights. But anyway, I just thought that was ridiculous. And but it was an interesting interview. I highly recommend looking into it. I thought it was very strange that he was disappeared for 20 years, and didn't seem to have anything nice to say about Slaughter, Mark Slaughter. But whatever. It's not really my kind of music. I mean, by the time Vinnie Vincent Invasion came out, I was really into, like, what was that, 85, 86? I was really big into, like, Iron Maiden and Queensryche and in metal. And it's right before Master of Puppets, so I was still kind of into Metallica. When Master of Puppets came out, I was like, I thought they were a cartoon of themselves. And, but I definitely liked, like, the heavy stuff. I didn't care for the hair glam stuff. And then I liked all kinds of other stuff, like, that's when I was getting really into Steely Dan and Toto and all that stuff. But yeah, it's a very interesting video that I would advise you to check out. Eddie Trunk interviews him for a bit, and it's just it's cool. On my bass 6 here, on the video for Back in the Saddle, I went back and listened, and sometimes, I'm hearing, the part when it goes, sometimes I'm hearing, instead of, but it's hard to hear because it's so low in that mix, but I just thought I'd throw it out there that it's like a sus. It's like, there's some things I'm going to have to do with this. I notice it gets a little buzzy, and I bought a black pick guard, but it hasn't come in yet. And so when I take the pick guard off, I got to take this bridge off. That's about it. This will pop off. But I'm going to pop the neck off, and I'm going to put a little bit of angle in the neck because I want this to come up higher, because I feel like the string pull isn't enough, that there's some buzz. So if I bring this higher, like this, if I bring this higher, I should be able to have a nice string pull, and then I'll also be able to get the strings closer to the, I'll be able to have a nice low action, I'm just going to put a little bit of angle in the neck. So, in a lot of guitars, you'll see that that's what happens. There's like a shim in there and whatnot. And, there's like a piece of cardboard or whatever you're going to use, and people will still say, oh yeah, but you can hear the wood. Well, yeah, sure you can. There was some guy who was trolling my page, arguing with me about wood and about stuff, and he's comparing a guitar to a violin. I thought that was interesting. I'll tell you what, go put violin strings on, or go put catgut, what do they call them, nylon strings on your guitar, and then tell me how great the wood on your electric guitar sounds with nylon strings. That'll be good. Anyways, not much else going on. I have a lot of gigs coming up. I've been teaching my ass off, which is good. But it's like, I like getting out there and playing more. So, other than that, it's funny. I went and saw a guy that I know play, and he always used to give me shit about going out with a small amp and a bunch of pedals. And he'd always bring out like this either half stack or 2x12 cab with a big 100-watt head. And I'm like, I don't want to schlep that stuff out to these small clubs. It's like bringing a hand grenade to a knife fight. I don't know what the hell that means. But anyways, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, so then I see him this weekend. He's playing a Little Blues Junior. He's got like 6 or 7 pedals. And I felt like the Emperor in Star Wars. I'm like, welcome to the dark side. I notice like a lot of these guys that have these types of YouTube blog type of things that I'm doing here all seem to be very metalheadish. And so I haven't really been doing much metal stuff because I feel like they cover that. But if there's something that you guys want me to do in the metal thing, I can do it. It's just, you know, I just really haven't. Although I ran into a buddy that does some, has like a Judas Priest cover band. So I was thinking actually about throwing up some Judas Priest. Maybe something from Screaming for Vengeance. I was thinking Riding on the Wind, is that what it's called? But yeah, I'll do some heavier stuff as well. I just haven't because, like, you know, you go on and there are guys that constantly are just playing 80s riffs, and then I have some friends that are on there doing it as well that I know personally, that I'm just like, you know, I'm trying to take it like, you know, when you play, I think the more you learn of all different styles, you know, the more rounded you become, and you approach things differently and whatnot. And I've had to learn like country, and I've had to learn some jazz stuff. I go to these blues jams, and I really don't like the blues. And you know, it's funny, like I brought this up a few times before. It's not that I have a problem with the music as much as I have a problem with the vocals. I don't think the melodies do anything. I don't think, and also when you see these people that go up and sing the blues, it's like, who told you you're a singer? Yeah, they lied. You know, I feel like Simon Cowell every time I go to one of these things, because I'm always like, yeah, why don't you come over here and get away from the microphone? And so a guy asked me to do a charity event. So there's a guy that I met, and I met him because he hired me for a gig. And he invited me to some party at his house, wanted me to bring my guitar and my amp on a weekend and play at his house. I had a gig, I didn't go. I didn't think anything of it. I wouldn't have gone even if I didn't have a gig. My idea of a good time is not going to somebody that I barely know and don't know any of his friends to go to a party and play so he can get up there and sing. I just don't give a shit. Anyway, so then he had a charity event thing he was trying to run, and he messaged me and asked me if I could do like a few songs. I said, yeah, that sounds fine. You know, I was like, I don't think I have a gig that night, so if it's a charity, I could kind of do it. And then he sent me a list of like 40 songs, and I'm like, what the hell is this? He starts asking me about doing a whole set. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to learn all these songs. You know, if you wanted me to come up for like 2 or 3 songs, you know, I felt bad because I'm like thinking that this is like some charity event, but then I don't see it posted anywhere. I don't see it anything. And I'm thinking, well, what's the charity? I'm going to play at this bar, and he's just going to take the money from the bar? Because it doesn't seem like he was out trying to raise money. I didn't see anything on Facebook trying to advertise it. No one after that point ever messaged me again for like a month. And so that day I taught, and just didn't feel like doing it. You know, it's like no one reached out to me. So then he wrote me like this nasty message about how I'm not a nice guy because I was a no-show and I didn't bother to call him. Well, he never bothered to call me. I didn't even know, do I bring an amp? Is there a back line? There was no information whatsoever, no communication to me whatsoever. But he wants me to go out and go spend my evening playing for him. And again, I don't even know him. He's friends with me on Facebook because we did a gig together, but I did that gig because the guitar player in his band asked me to do it as a favor, and they paid me. But it was like, so I learned a bunch of songs. The girl is a guitar player that plays lead, so she was like, can you come in and play rhythm on the parts? And I said, sure. Well, after that, I guess for some reason he thinks I'm indebted to him and have to sit and perform for him for the rest of my life. But I'll tell you right now, you know, like, I can be an asshole. I don't care. I just didn't want to do it. No one reached, you know, like there was zero organization. And I just think, you know, I'm so sick of people that try to take advantage of players. It's like, so then in his message, he even says in his message, what I thought was hilarious, he's like, you've blown me off like 3 times. Oh, 3 times from gigs that you didn't want to pay me?
And you blew it. You blew it.
And then I answered him back, and he never responded. But I don't expect him to, because it's like I said, I barely know the guy, and he's asked me to play 3 times for him for nothing. It's like, yeah, this is what I do for a living. I'm I'm going out there, I'm playing, I'm teaching. This is what I do for a living. I come on here so I can reach a lot of different people, and this is me giving back. I'm teaching on here, we talk, we have a good time, I hope I'm entertaining. For those who don't find me entertaining, that's all right, go watch someone else. I don't care. I'm having a good time. It's fun. It is what it is, you know. Sunday, the Pats. Hopefully we win. That'll be our 6th. Like I said, I think next year we're going to take number 7 because we got Hightower back and we got Edelman and someone else. I can't think of who it is. But, very good.
How's that for a topper?
You're right on target. Right on the money. Everything you said. You hit the nail right on the head with your comments, what you're saying today. You're 150% correct.